So the next job we're going to tackle into is a little job I want to do to the 7.6. Now, little job it might be. It might seem a very little job on the camera, but it's probably going to be an awkward enough little job to do because it's awkward to get at when you have the bonnet open on this tractor. But we are going to do a little bit of a LED conversion on the two top work lights on this tractor. Now, when I bought this, one thing that struck me quite quickly was the darkness of the two or the four work lights that sit on the top of this tractor. Now, if you can see it there, I'm not sure if the camera picks it up, but the inside of these lights, and they're hella lights, are very badly corroded. I don't know why. The reflector is more or less completely gone. Not just as bad on this side, but it's bad enough compared to the rest of the lights, which are totally fine. I did look at a couple of models similar to this tractor just to see was it a fault with them, and I didn't see it as bad on theirs. Yeah, with bits of pitting or whatever, but I'm surprised to see it. It just seems to be a faulty set of lights that went into it, but it doesn't really bother me. Never really passed too much remarks on it. I'd be too busy actually to think of it this last while. Back about, could be near 3 months ago now, it's a long time ago, I got a message on my phone one evening when I was milking the cows, and it was a DPD delivery, and it mentioned AutoSparky on it, and I didn't know what it was for because I had ordered nothing and we hadn't been talking about anything. So I rang him and asked him what was going on, and he said, I'm sending you out 4 LED lights because I've noticed this corrosion on the top work lights that you have in your tractor, and I'm sending you out these 4 LED lights for you to try out and see that they fit your model of tractor for starters and see what you think of them. So because of that, today's video is sponsored by AutoSparky. He sent these lights out to us completely free of charge, which I really appreciate because LED lights, they're expensive. Everybody knows how expensive they are. So he had a keen eye to spot that. To be honest with you, I had thought nothing really of it anymore. Just wasn't top of the agenda for me to do anything with. But at the same time, yeah, we do a certain amount of work at night, and it's nice to have a good light. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this bonnet up and see how tough it is actually to change them. He did say to me, I've never put a set of these lights. These are a new light, I think, this out, and there's never went a set of them into one of these tractors before, and he just doesn't know if they're going to fit or not. So if you're watching this video, they have fitted. All right, let's just keep it simple. We're not going to have a big countdown to will it fit or any of that crack. If you're watching the video now, they have fitted. All right, that just gets that over with. So what we'll do is we'll get this bonnet popped up, we'll have a look behind and see how big of a task it is to get these out, and we'll see can we get these other lights in place. Yeah, see, it goes up very high, but I can get up on this here, I suppose, and get out. It looks like a 10mm nut, and when we loosen off both of them, it should just pop out. Shouldn't be that big a job, actually. It looks handy enough. That's one out. Quite a bit of corrosion on that now. Wonder why is that? Why is it so badly corroded? That wasn't terribly hard, but you can see the way it's all crusted and everything. The most peculiar thing about it, there's no corrosion at all on these ones. It seems to be these up ones. Now normally you'd expect maybe if there was a battery underneath it or something, or fumes was going up and doing that. Yeah, mystery. So this is our box here now that I've quite rudely opened and ripped apart. So that's the light we're putting in now at the minute. LED lumen 4000 LM. That's them there. That's top there. So I can see straight away they're not going to go on with these plastic guys in the way here. I wonder how you get these off. I got the white plugs out after all, and far from an easy job. I actually had to cut the first one out, and I just got a flat screwdriver and I got these pliers here and I just snapped straight off, and that worked much easier. That's looking good so far. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good there. That's it on. Oh, you miserable. Now this should just plug in. Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, that's good. Nice click, that's the sound you like to hear. So there you go, that's the difference right there. Yeah, it just speaks for itself. A lot brighter looking anyway. I suppose the next thing to do is get the rest of them fitted. I'm not going to put you through the torture of that because it could be colourful damage going by how the first one went on. That's them on. Yeah, look at them there for yourself. You can make of them as you will. I think they're nice and clean. Everything that just clicks together and don't have to start pulling wires apart or any of that kind of messing is always a benefit. So, but anyway, that's them fitted. One thing I wish I had done was to show a bit of a comparison. I never thought of doing it. I never thought of showing the other lights, but to be honest with you, they weren't great. But I will show you these at night when the whole thing's finished, because there's no point in throwing them on now. Right they are. Just wait till it gets darker this evening and I'm throwing them on. Now it's night time now. We're just about to turn on the lights. Get a look at this. There we go. That's them on. We'll move back here, just looking straight at 3. They're strong. Now if we turn off the LEDs and turn on the full lights, the ordinary lights down below them, there's the full lights. See the blue light on? You can see there's quite a difference. So a huge thank to AutoSparky for those. I'll put a link in the description if you want to go and price them for yourself. Anyway, on to the next job. Alright, so the next job we're going to do is we're going to bring our heifers back in again. That's our big heifers. Our heifers are in calf now. We'll put them into the chute here and we're going to do them for flies. Flies and red water and ticks and things. But we'll get through that in a few minutes when we get them in. But the main objective now is to get them actually in. I'm here on my own today. My wife is actually coming over now because I forgot to actually bring over the pour-on. I left it behind the Jeep. I brought everything I needed, but I knew there's always something you forget. And I forgot the actual pour-on itself, the most important thing. I hope I'm able to do this myself. I just have the gate tied open there. One thing I must do is I must actually hang another gate in there, because that cord that I tie the gate open with, they have a tendency to know it's not live and walk through it. So I must actually put another post down there and hang another gate across. You can just link the two of them together, because I do use this quite a bit and I've found a few times that they have went through that or jumped over it or went under it. So it might be worthwhile. Maybe sometime I might just stick a post in that side there and put another gate across, just so they can be kind of latched into it, and it would work very handy. Because a lot of the times I'm doing this work on my own and I do have the help. Only my wife, she's busy just doing something else today, but she said she'd give me a hand, stay with me if I needed her, but she has enough to do this morning. She's busy on her own little job, and my other daughter, who's off in school now, is also busy helping her. So I don't want to disturb them unless I really need them, so I'm going to chance this on my own. If I need them, I'll give them a quick call, but this should work out all right. I have all these kind of cords set up here and there. They can just open out, unravel with one hand, of course. Go on there like that there, and that leaves that okay. The gate's closed down at the bottom anyway, so they can't really go anywhere if they do get away, so that should do that job. Now getting them down here is the next thing. Come on. And the ringleader is always in front. Get her out. The rest of them will probably more than likely follow. My father does always wonder how I managed to get these cattle out on my own, because years ago it used to be an awful task. And there's not really any difference on the animals, it's just tricking them. That's all it is, tricking them out. If I let them out here, for instance, I don't go in front of them, what'll happen is, hold on now, what'll happen is they'll run up here, but they'll not all come out. And the ones that don't come out will run up that side of the hedge to kind of keep in contact with these ones, and then you're in a mess, because you'll have to bring them back out. You'll never get these ones out because they'll watch the ones in the chute the whole time. But if you don't go up the whole way, just stand here and wait till they're all out first, then it does tend to work much easier. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Job's a good one. Up, 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 up. Just have to watch that cord on the far side that they don't go through it. Get in. Get in. Come on. What we're going to use today is, well, for starters, what I used to use, if we can find it here. Yeah. This is what I used to use. It does ticks on the skin, it does flies, things like that. It works on sheep, cattle. Very good. I always had good results with that. But this time I'm using this. And the reason I'm using this, I've never used that before, is that I wanted something this time that would do for red water as well. Now, red water is something we have never had in our farm in over 30 years. I can't remember the last animal that had it, but I remember my father talking about it, and I remember seeing it on other farms that I used to work on, real bad cases. But our land is lamed quite often, and it doesn't tend to carry many ticks. We never see any instance of the red water. But the field that we're putting them in now, it's old ground. It's only a small amount of acreage in it, but it's old ground, and it's got quite strong as well. It did spread lime and all on it. It's got to that heavy stage now. We would be right, we want to be baling it, but it's too rough a ground to bale. You could break all before you when you go down into it, and it's rough. It's rough and it's wet as well. It's a bog field, so we're going to just let them into it, leave them on it for a while. They'll clean it enough, and we'll top it then when they're done. Now, so there's our first batch in, and Bo, of course, is second to the front. She's always the ringleader. One thing I can tell straight away is we don't get as many in as we used to, which is a good sign. They've grown quite a bit. The one at the front is by far the youngest one. That's the smallest one of them all. This stuff comes a little bit different than most pour-ons. Gets a little tube here that fits down into it. You screw it down like that, and that's it. It's ready to go. Would you stop for a minute? It's ready to go anyway, and it's different than the other ones. The other ones is all built into the one container, but look at it, it works, and that's all that matters. Right. Everybody's different preferences the way they put it on. I always start just in front of the shoulders, go the whole way down the spine, and that's the way we've always done it, and it's the way a lot of people do it around here, and it's actually written on the bottle to do it more or less the same way. Right, Bo. Go on, go on, that's the stuff. That's that job done, 30 minutes well spent. Now what I'm doing is I'm just having a quick look around them and looking at their elders basically more than anything. I'm looking for angleberries and warts. Around this part of the country, I know myself and some of my neighbours as well, they have problems with angleberries and heifers teats, and that's just around their elder and around their, just under the belly and things. Seems to be an area you can afford. Now, we actually had to sell 2 heifers last year, if you remember back on our channel, that were just unsavable. They were just completely destroyed with angleberries. Now, warts is something that we can control fairly well, but angleberries, depending on where they are, they're a nightmare. They're a nightmare in your heifers. They can destroy your heifers very easily. Now, a few people did mention vaccinations. Yes, we got vaccinations made up 3 times. Basically, you take off a bit of the angleberry, you send it away to a lab, it gets crunched up, and a vaccination is made. Done it 3 times and didn't work. No effect whatsoever. So it might work for some, it just never worked for us. And the only girl I see at the minute that has 1 angleberry, the rest of them look really clean here, which I'm very happy about, but there's 1 girl that has 1 angleberry, and it's our famous Bo. You wouldn't blame her, she doesn't want to show her privates, but it's there, and it's not attached to the tit, so it's not something I'm really concerned about. What I'll do with her is I will get a bit of fishing line. I don't have any today, but these heifers have to go back in a wee while anyway. They're going to be moved, they're not going to be very long where they are now, and I'll bring a bit of fishing line over with me, and I'll stick her in the chute, and I'll tie it around it really tight, and the fishing line will block off the blood supply to that angleberry, and it will fall off. Not an issue. I'm really pleased to say that the rest of them so far have not a single issue. No warts, no angleberries at all. So I'm really pleased with that, because we've had years where our heifers were absolutely destroying them. One of the other problem flies around here is that horsefly plague, as we call it, and it drives the heifers absolutely mad. So this here should help protect them against that as well. Flies are a problem because they go on the heifers' elders, and the heifers are dry now, and they'll go on to the end of the heifers' elders, and they'll crawl around them, and they'll go from one tit to the other, and they'll spread infection. And when you get then, it's a thing called dry mastitis, which is a devil on heifers. We've used garlic licks, is what we use to control flies, but last year I used that spotting or whatever it is, spotting or I think it is, and the garlic lick, and that seemed to work a dream. It wasn't that stuff we're using there now, it was the other stuff we showed at the beginning, and it worked an absolute dream. Just this time I decided to change, just purely for precaution, of red water, but it should do the same thing. It'd be interesting to see the difference in the two actually. Come on, come on, come on, come on. That's it, I'm going to leave it there now as the sun comes back out again. I'm going to home and dry my clothes and start the next job. But thanks very much for watching as always. And if you enjoy the content, hey, hit that sub button, give us a like. Until the next one, we'll talk to you again.